What is up, guys? Filmmakers here.
And today, we're back and we're here to review Spider-Man Far From Home. One of the things I liked the most about this movie was Mysterio.
Yeah, I really liked him too. I really liked seeing Jake Gyllenhaal play Mysterio. And when I heard he was going to be in this movie, I was really excited. And I saw him in the trailer. He looked really cool. And you know, in the comics, he's a villain. But the way they use him in this movie,
It's interesting.
It's interesting, and his overall arc,
his
action story, it's crazy because it has stuff to do with the MCU's past. It's messing up with the present because, you know, his story is in this movie, and what he does in this movie is going to affect what we see in future movies down the road. So I really like what they did with him, and he was a really interesting character. And another one of the interesting things about this movie is, you know, okay, so this is after Endgame. So this is after, you know, the snap, after everyone died. It addresses that, and it's kind of weird how they do it because it's just like everyone's just so, like, cool with it, I guess. It's just like, it just kind of
happened.
It just kind of happened. Really... Like, you think if that happened in real life, there'd be, you know, like, no one would know what to do. There'd be all this, like, scrambling chaos. But the way they handle it is just like, we just move on, and then they just move on from it. There's not, I mean, they don't, like, there's nothing, from what I remember of them trying to think about, like where it came from, because, I mean, of course we know the Avengers knew it was Thanos, but, like, does anyone else know that?
No.
Does any of the people? So they just, like, kind of move on from it. I mean, that kind of weird.
It does kind of deal with the fact, like, who's going to be the next Iron Man. That is one of the things, though.
Well, yeah, I just seen in the trailer where it's like, you know, the whole thing was, you know, is Peter going to step up? Is he going to be the next Iron Man? And that's really, really a huge part of Spider-Man's character in this movie.
He was really good in this movie.
Oh, yes, he was amazing.
As you've seen in the trailers, one of the bigger plot points for Peter is trying to impress MJ. Now, when I heard that in Spider-Man Homecoming that Zendaya's character was going to be MJ, I had mixed feelings about it, but she was good in this movie.
Oh, yeah, I really, because, like, one of the funnier parts of this movie is because he's, you know, he's trying to impress her, but there ends up being this other student that really likes her, and, you know, they're both trying to, you know, basically just fighting for, you know, attention and all that, and it was really funny. And another weird thing is, in this movie, she ends up finding out that Peter's Spider-Man. Now, somebody might be thinking, oh, that's probably a spoiler, but...
MJ, I am Spider-Man. No, of course I'm not.
I mean, it's kind of obvious.
It's in the trailer, so, I mean, if it's in the trailer, we can talk
about it.
Yeah, it probably would have been a spoiler, but, I mean, we can talk about it because people have seen that. But anyway, that really just adds a whole new dynamic to not only their, like, the way their characters interact, but Peter himself as Spider-Man.
And
you know.
that Aunt May knows about it.
That I always found weird, because I thought when she found out at the end of Homecoming, I thought that was just kind of like a joke. Yeah. Just to kind of I don't know. But then when I saw the trailer and they were like, oh, so it's actually like, she knows they're doing like cool business. They're like doing like business with it too, because she was at the like thing. And I found that really weird, so also her and Happy, that was hilarious.
Yeah, that was funny. Happy was in a decent portion of this movie, and I liked him.
Oh yeah, you can't go wrong with Happy.
Yeah. One of the best things about this movie also, I know I'm saying that a lot, but it was also something that was good in Spider-Man Homecoming, how, you know, there was the big twist that Vulture was Liz's dad.
Yes.
There are a decent amount, I'd say about like 3 or 4 different twists in this movie. 2 of which have to do with the post-credit scenes. Those were some of the craziest ones I've seen in a Marvel movie. Yeah.
They're like Ant-Man and the Wasp level. Like, cause like when people saw it, they were like, what? And now it's just like you see, because both of them, usually one of them is like affects the future,
and one of
them is just, you know, for fun, like, you know, in Homecoming when Captain America's like talking about patience.
Yeah.
But this one, both of them are huge. They both affect the future of the MCU, and once we find out what Phase 4 has, we are in for a treat for the next few years of Marvel movies.
It's gonna be fun.
And to see what this new story is, so it just stay for both post-credit scenes because they are insane. Also, one of them has an Easter egg that you guys will love. So
definitely. Yeah.
The one thing I didn't really like about this movie is there were some parts that just kind of felt a little rushed. Like there'd be a scene, it'd be like developing, and then like there would be like the highest point of tension for that scene, and then it just kind of ends, and you're just like, okay, so that happened, and they just move on. Like, it's like, I don't know if it had anything to do with the runtime or if it was just like unintentional, but there were just a few scenes where I felt like once it got to like the highest point of tension, it just kind of died down, and just like the scene ended.
Something else about this movie, it just kind of, I feel like this point kind of depends on what kind of person you are. Because this movie is a lot bigger than Spider-Man Homecoming, obviously, because he's going all around Europe, and Mysterio's in it, and, you know, he's a pretty big guy. So I feel like it just depends on what kind of person you are with, you know, the whole bigger is better thing. I know a lot of times bigger isn't better. People think that.
I think in this movie it worked.
I think it worked.
When they introduced Nick Fury, and they were talking about like the multiverse and stuff like that. So I think it really.
I wasn't really thinking about that.
Larger scale.
I was just really thinking about the scale of like the fight scenes, like with the big monsters and like Mysterio.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean those were cool though.
Yeah, the final battle it's pretty big. So I feel like it just depends on what kind of person you are when it comes to, you know, big stuff in movies, especially with sequels trying to be bigger than the first one.
Yeah.
If you're cool with that, I mean, doesn't matter. It's good. You're gonna enjoy. You're gonna find some enjoyment. No matter who you are.
I don't. I might have to give Homecoming another watch. I don't know. At the moment, I think Far From Home's better.
Yeah.
But that's obviously just because I've just now seen it and it's just kind of recency bias. But I feel like the only reason I like this one more than Homecoming is just because it's like a larger scale. Like it's like it is affected by other movies and it will go on to affect other movies.
Yes.
In a way, like of course Homecoming had, you know, stuff from the first Avengers, but like the way Far From Home does it, it's like, you know, what happens in this is going to change with the future of the MCU.
And it connects back to a lot like
Phase 1 stuff.
the very beginning of the MCU, stuff from Phase 1. So
There's also a really, I guess you could say, touching scene at the beginning. I mean, it's
I see what
it ends
you
up
mean, yeah.
being it's touching, but it does end up being used for laughs. So it was a great scene. It was funny, but
also spoiler alert, no Stanley cameo. I think we all knew that, but it's gonna be
it's tough. It's gonna be tough without him. They do have a little thing for him after the post credit scene. Though that's not the post credit scene, but after the post credit scenes,
there's something for Stanley
for
and Steve Ditko.
But in the end, it was a great movie. The MCU has just don't skip a beat. They've done it again, and I'm definitely give this one 5 out of 5.
Oh, definitely, yeah, 5 out of 5. It's definitely one of the better movies to come out this year. I don't know if it's better than Endgame though, but
Endgame is just like on its own level, just insane.
It has been
but
a good year
I
for movies
really
so far.
I cannot wait to find out what Phase 4 is, and I'm also really confused as to how like the TV shows are gonna connect with all this.
Oh, the Disney Plus.
I feel like those aren't really needed. They're just gonna kind of because not everyone's gonna have Disney Plus. So if those shows affect the movies, and someone goes see the movies but hasn't watched the shows, it's gonna be the same problem with like Netflix. Like, I mean, we all know that, you know, we never saw Daredevil and Endgame, but like if someone's not able to watch the shows, and a huge plot point from like Falcon and Winter Soldier ends up being a huge plot point in Black Panther 2, if you didn't see the show, you're not going to know what's going on, so I feel like it's going to kind of mess things up. But hopefully that's not the case.
I feel like they have a plan for it, though. I feel like they know that they'll probably find a way. They might. I feel like they want to find
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. had some stuff that ended up being in Age of Ultron, from what I remember, but, like, it worked.
I feel like they have a plan. Like, if they probably know that not everyone's going to buy, you know, subscribe to Disney Plus, because, you know, people, I don't know, still like Disney, but
yeah. But, and also there's still Netflix, so
yeah, they have a plan. Marvel always has a plan.
Yeah, so hopefully it just keeps going up, and Marvel just keeps on getting better and one-upping itself. And with that being said, that is it for this one, guys. So I know we haven't been doing videos much lately, but we're trying to just get back to being consistent. So in order to help us out, give this video a like and comment down below just any thoughts you have about this movie or what its effect is on the MCU, if you liked it, if you didn't like it. And yeah, that's it for this one, guys.